From the shoes up. Kind of shoes you wear, they're comfortable ones. So we're starting with the MagSafe container. Hey, happy Father's Day. I just gave birth. Here's the rig. Look at that. Well, we're going to go through it real quick. We'll start by adding a little light so you're occupied. We've got a QFX triangle on here. There's poetic subtext. See? Part of the subtext is always thinking about the alien abduction coming down. And to do that, we've got a little mighty bright bag here that's on top there. It may not look pretty, but it sure is functional, folks. Okay, put that in your proton pack and blast it, baby. Let's see what else we got going on here. Finding the power button. I think that's another movie. Uh-oh. See, that's the one thing is I want to keep it in the case. We'll get back to that in a second, so I'm not digressing. Oh, look at this. Right here. This is an old stand. This is a very old stand. I cleaned it up. They don't make metal like this anymore, okay, at all. I tried cutting through this with the Sony mics and all kinds of crazy stuff. We'll see some of that later. Hey, look, the repurposed piece, but you'll see that there's also a thread here, and I can actually, if I wanted to, tie in the monopod. They have it right there. Sure. Tie in a monopod, they have it right there, see? And there we go. In the meantime, I've taken this one that I was using for the recorder, but we'll talk about all this later. I'm keeping it quick just as a quick tour. I know, you want to see the good stuff, okay? So that everyone knows what a monopod is. Here's some more of the good stuff, okay? A must-have is the Logitech keys to go while you're there, because it also has Apple keys. Always have a sticky pad. Because then when you flip it over, you can put the sticky pad there, and that thing's not going anywhere. Okay, so you can see that they've got Apple keys, so that really helps too. It would be nice if they had like a flow-through mouse on the top. I'm not gonna be concerned about it. But guess what? Rather than type texting, okay, and poking, you're gonna see some good things. That's what's going on here. Okay, again, I'm going quick. We got a little level there for my repurposed piece. It's always nice to know that. Are we on the level? Are the D's and D's still T's? Okay, this fluid thing with zero scope, because it's I added weight to give it more of a machine feel. It only goes up this much. This is really heavy, but it's also light. You'll see. What else we got going on here? The light is right there. I did have it on magnetically to go with the magnetic theme. I put it on with Velcro. It's there, but you can also mount this light right here should you need to. But really, what I do is say, take the monopod and take the light and go where we need it to, not just in front of the static camera. Okay, all that other stuff is just on there for gear. But now, if you look at it, I've also made and then we'll step away from the rig in a second. I've also made a repurposed strap with some extra. It's a default bicycle cup holder, but you know, if you had to actually grip it, and if you had to actually grip it, that thing's really on there tight. The QFX is on there with magnets, 3 of them to be specific. All right, let's see. I don't know how I can do this to lift it up. Right, I'll feign lifting it up, but here it is. Here's the pod. Beautiful. All right, we'll go on. Thanks for keeping up. Hang on. Because the rest of the stuff is easy. We just whip right through it. Okay, what's next? Some travel bags. That's where the keyboard goes. I also have what did I do with it? I have a nice bag. I have a nice bag for the iPhone. In the meantime, it's got the nice little back pocket. This is True Religion. You know, and then when traveling, I'll take the adapter off here.
Forever will we dance.
And just a word to the wise, I checked it out. There's no, and note to future developers, there's no fade in and out. It's only start and stop for Apple. Call Tim Cook. In fact, I'm going to put that in the description.
Forever will we dance.
My AI chatbot, Paul Streisand. She'll help you. Alright, we're going to go on. Uh-oh, shark. Well, this is just the lead in. I don't know where my other bag is. Because what I tried to do is to have a minimal footprint with maximal output. Oh yeah, we'll get to this in a second.
Johnny Rockets Disco. Johnny Rockets Disco.
So,
let's just go.
Here's my concept: is that the dailies or whatever. Look, guys, dear photographers, you're going to be using this unit, and then all your Hollywood stuff. I've got a cage coming, so we can put your gear up on top. In the meantime, here we have this polyatonic case. I don't know, I got two things on it. And there we go. You see? And then we got a USB ready to go. That's my next part to do testing. The next I'm going to be testing to stream it off and right onto this, because here the idea is, here, take this uptown, or take this uptown. Here we go. 3 hours of footage. All pure. See you soon. Bring it back. And then we got a spare one and we're still rolling. Take it to the Obama Center Spielberg studio. See you soon.
Yes, I heard the river calling.
And then I even engineered that so it can fit underneath here. You'll see. So it can fit underneath here. Show the interactivity. And a little super heavy golf cart. I gotta move this down a bit. See? Glad I put that light on, huh? You know, now I could work this out with more magnets, but instead, it's kind of a hack around. I'm just taking the magnets and using them on to slide up. I don't know how you do that. Friction fit. Okay, here it is. That's it. And then here you got your one SD card in here. Take it out. Here's your container. And you know, another handy thing, having this here and having that sound. Look, it comes down to video and sound. It comes down to video and sound in terms of capturing. Okay, performance I'm not talking about. We'll start this in a second. But yeah, okay, that's why it's I gotta get the power back on here. Connection. Get the Bluetooth. Should be on, right? Okay, so let's go to our KX player. See, and the MagSafe holder, top socket, doesn't fit in the back of this. When I get the cage, I bet it will. But in the meantime, well, where's that? Okay, here's the other part of the tour. All footage to work with. But, you know, the other part of this, and this is hard to see, is, you know, you can wear it, just put the strap on. Also folding this up is a really nice monopod. Alright, anyway. Let's go back. You know, one of the other difficulties is having those remote capabilities, or the display screen, that's its own, or the screen mirroring, that's its own struggle in itself. But, you know, then there's also too, the realization that, great, I can have a nice fluid movement, anything I want, left and right, okay? We'll get the talent, you know, in and out with the Z level, but that zoom in and out, that's missing, sorely missing from there.
Brought my harmonica, but I left my talent in the car. Then I'll stick to punchlines. You handle the pauses. Get ready to entertain, partner. Oh, I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's give him a show. 1, 2, hey! You better get this car back before I'm ready to leave.
Yeah, we got our gig bag. Got where this phone goes into. Okay, we already saw the True Religion.
Entertainment and beverages are free.
Well, you know, with this little kit that I got, it does a great job, but you really can't see. You really can't use the microphones, but I have an old Bell and Howell. An old Bell and Howell from a video recorder. So what I'm going to do is, this is my segue to the next piece. Kids is not a contract. Okay, so now here we come to the Diet Hardy bag. Are these really custom that you repurposed?
Maybe both. Let's see if they'll laugh first. Works for me. Why don't space parties ever last? Why? No atmosphere. Then it's a good thing we're bringing the atmosphere.
We got our super cables. It's small but effective. Here's the real wonder, and you'll see why I need that cage. Woo! Ray? Proton packs to full done. See? But there's no way, the stand will make it, but there's no way that this is going on top of here, okay? So, what it is doing, see, is I can put those microphones right in here, and I already have them set up to do that. Now, this does have Bluetooth.
It's not just a sip.
I showed you that in the other video, but that Bluetooth is for control. It's a proprietary control that Tascam makes. So don't have ideas of, you know, using this. Okay. What else?
Felt like an eternity.
I'm drawn into the music. That's good. That's why I have background sounds with Jasper. Look, if it sounds that good all the time, you're already doing your stuff. Alright, and last but not least, here we have just a case for the iPad, which I was going to show you, but I might show you a clip from something else. It's lean and mean, just got some extra cables here, got the iPad.
To legacy and beyond.
Okay, and then I've got some my power cable and these fantastic lights. So really, between these lights and that little LED, you're doing something. Look, there's another stinking pad. All there in one mean setup, and that's what's going on as we prepare for Blues Brothers 3000. Midway and beyond is what you want today.
And what did Sir Nolan want? A front-to-back flow script. And Mr. Spielberg's shorthand or developed on a phone. Well done. Keep going.